Welcome to the Grappling Grappling Rewind podcast.
Welcome to this week on the Grappling Rewind podcast. In this show, we're going to recap the 2019 ADCC World Championships that Emil and I attended live, and it was outstanding. Also on this show, we are going to preview Fight to Win 128, talk a little bit about the World Jiu-Jitsu Festival, and that is probably it, honestly.
That's Fight to Win 127.
127.
Yes.
My bad. It's been an extremely long, outstanding weekend of covering Jiu-Jitsu live. We were at ADCC World Championships. This show is going to come out actually a day early because Emil and I are not going to record 4 shows in a row. We're just going to put this one out a day early, episode 99 with the Grappling Rewind. We are going to recap for this episode the semifinals and the finals for the men's divisions for under 66, under 77, under 88, under 99 kilograms, above 99 kilograms, the absolute for the men's division, and the Superfight, as well as the women's semifinals for plus 60 and under 60 for the ADCC World Championships that took place in Anaheim, California this weekend.
God damn, what a weekend.
It was a big old weekend.
It was a big old weekend. Yeah, let's get into it.
Where do you want to start with this one?
I want to start with the most discussed medal of the
this made the most disgusting submission. I was like, you want to start there? Okay.
No. This is the medal that people are talking about the most is not the gold for absolutes. It's not the gold for plus 99. It's not the gold for plus 60.
Not the silver medal.
None of that. It is the bronze for absolute. Lachlan Giles on an unbelievable tear, having to take on not one David, or Goliath rather, playing the David to 3 separate Goliaths, starting off by tapping Kaynan Duarte to a inside heel hook, doing the same thing to Patrick Gaudio, and then doing it to Muhammad Ali in the third place competition.
In case you didn't know, Kaynan Duarte, when he entered the absolute, was the newly crowned plus 99 kilogram champion for ADCC. I mean, by the way, there is a video that people can see of you leaving. Was the champion for plus 99 kilograms for ADCC 2019. Lachlan Giles had been eliminated in the first round by Lucas Lepre in the under 77 kilogram division. Sorry, Kaynan is actually plus 99. Lachlan had been eliminated in the first round by Lucas Lepre, entered the absolute along with the other smaller competitor, Keith Krikorian, who's the under 66 kilogram division. And everyone kind of went, okay, well, these guys are going to run up against, Keith ran up against Buchecha in the first round, and Lachlan draws Kaynan, obviously probably being seeded as the 16th seed in that, and he gets on a leg lock, and he pulls Kaynan's leg across.
And he does the impossible, and he taps Kaynan Duarte.
He taps Kaynan Duarte. And Kaynan Duarte.
The crowd goes bonkers.
Kaynan Duarte had been perfect on the day. Had been perfect the whole weekend. He had not lost a match.
He had beaten Buchecha.
Yep. He'd beaten everyone in his division.
Beaten Nicky Rodriguez. Was on an absolute tear, on a really good path to potentially double golding, and Lachlan Giles upsets. Biggest upset of the tournament.
In the first round.
Hands down.
First round.
And everyone is stunned. And,
the crowd went absolutely crazy when this happened.
There was over a 40-pound weight difference in that. And the next match, Lachlan draws Patrick Gaudio,
who's also, I think,
he was in under 99.
Only under 99 kilogram division. Like, he's not above 99.
It's still a 20 over 40-pound difference.
Yeah.
Lachlan made a post where he said all of them had 20 kilograms on him.
Yeah, which is 44 pounds-ish, I think.
And he repeats the impossible, and he gets an outside heel hook on
and
Patrick
he taps
Gaudio.
Patrick Gaudio.
And then he faces Gordon Ryan.
No. He faces Muhammad Ali next.
No. Gordon Ryan.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep.
Gordon Ryan finishes him. I mean, you can't leg lock Gordon Ryan.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
Gordon Ryan paths beautifully to the mount position, gets over with the
Our brains are fried right now.
Our brains are fried. You can hear it in my voice.
Gift wrap
position.
Yeah.
Takes the back, gets the sub there.
So
beautiful match.
Muhammad Ali also gets knocked out, and now to get third place Lachlan has to defeat Muhammad Ali.
And so I'd actually moved from the backstage area because I've been sitting in backstage a long time and not in a chair, and moved to actual seats next to Emil, Rachel, and David, and all the people around us. Everyone was talking about like Lachlan Giles. I'm like, yo, he's gonna fight Muhammad Ali now, and he's just tapped 2 big dudes, and he got beat by Gordon, but Gordon in ADCC is a different animal.
And Gordon leg locks is a different animal.
Right. And so it's like he's got to fight Muhammad Ali, who also weighed in at 260 plus pounds, right up there with Buchecha. Can he do it? And everyone's kind of like, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Like, and they kind of was like, it'd be cool if he did, but he's probably not going to be able to. And then draws Muhammad Ali, and he gets in on a heel hook, and he doesn't get the first one, and he gets on the second one, and we go, and they roll, and he taps him. And Muhammad Ali goes, you see him like get his knee, like, he got me. And Lachlan Giles takes the bronze medal for the absolute as a 77 kilogram guy.
Oh my God. Just unbelievable. Like, everyone's talking about it. Everyone wanted to talk to Lachlan afterwards. We got a great interview with him. I'm hopefully going to get that out hopefully tomorrow. We're traveling tomorrow and flying over back to Baltimore from West Coast here. So I will hopefully be able to get that out, but I'm not quite sure if it'll be tomorrow or the following day. He's this year's ADCC version of Craig Jones, hands down. I mean,
dude, the Australians come to ADCC and they light it on fire.
Absolutely.
I wonder who, like, next year or in 2021, who will be the Australian that comes out and surprises everyone.
I know.
And leg locks like they shouldn't be this person, and they win.
Absolutely. The other major story coming out of the ADCC 2019 tournament is Kennedy Maciel, Cobrinha Jr.'s run. Was incredible. It was absolutely stunning. I was telling Maine, this is, the
multiple
whole story.
come from behind victories.
It's almost like a movie script, the way that this went down.
We talked about it on yesterday's show. If you haven't listened to that, if you're interested in kind of this show and kind of what happened previously on day 1 at ADCC, I recommend listen to yesterday's show we put out. It's not a special. It's termed as a special show. This would be episode 99. That would be the previous show. It doesn't have a title or a name. It's just ADCC day 1. If you're looking for like the first 2 matches that Cobrinha Jr. had.
Right, but the semifinal match, his first match of today, was against Tyratolo. And another story
who had like an amazing run. Tyratolo gets in on a late replacement, young, like 16 years old, I think. Everyone kind of wrote him off for the most part because he had an okay showing at trials, but dude gets into the semifinals against Cobrinha Jr.
Yeah, over, by the way, Tyratolo beating Bruno Frazzato in order to get...
And Pablo Mantovani.
Yeah, yep. And so Tyratolo gets... basically, Cobrinha Jr. shoots in for a takedown, and Tyratolo gets a nasty darce. There's 20 seconds left in regulation.
Deep
It
darce.
is super deep.
And he's not quite like Tyratolo doesn't quite have his shoulders over exactly where you need to actually get the finish on it. But
I was convinced we were going to see Kennedy go unconscious.
But what you see is he's super deep on the elbow and he's locked over on the arm and he's ratcheted it in and he's squeezing inward on the darce, even without the head position or at the shoulder position there. Like, you can still get the tap. You can still put a guy to sleep with it. It's not ideal, but it's definitely a possibility.
I thought we were going to see Kennedy go unconscious. And 20 seconds is an eternity when there's a deep submission like that. And the regulation ends and the ref stops the fighters and Cobrinha Jr. Immediately jumps up and enters a wrestling stance for overtime. It was amazing. And in overtime, he shoots another takedown, and again, Tyratolo puts him into a deep darce. This time there's 3 minutes left, and it just looks like he's going to be finished. He escapes. He takes the back, and he submits Tyratolo with a rear naked choke and goes into the finals.
Amazing match.
And he ends up going into the finals against none other than Tinquinho, the same man who defeated Cobrinha. This is Kennedy's father in the 2013 IBJJF World Championships. It's just, that's a movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie. You could write a movie about
that. And
that.
Tinquinho defeats him as well. We'll talk about that a little later when we get to the division.
Tanquinho does beat him, yeah. So
which is continue with the story. Like we'll see a Rocky 2 out of this matchup, obviously.
Yeah.
So that great story. Let's talk about Nicky Rodriguez.
Oh my God, yeah.
His story and his storied run, and now newly promoted purple belt. That seems so dumb to say.
Yeah.
He got promoted to purple belt on the podium by Jay Reglabudo, his coach, and everyone had a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Nick after, and he was wearing his medal. He was wearing a purple belt and no shirt.
Yeah. He was on the podium with Kaynan Duarte, and Kaynan Duarte was looking over and chuckling. Like, yeah, it was a hilarious moment. Nicky Rodriguez just having an explosive ADCC
made
run.
it to the finals.
Yeah.
As a dude that's been doing jiu-jitsu for about 2 years.
Plus 99 kilogram finals against Kaynan Duarte.
And we're going to see the rematch in like, what?
2
weeks?
Yeah. Yep.
Like this matchup was made like a little bit ago and we got announced like, yeah, it's an okay matchup. Like that's a really tough matchup for Nicky Rodriguez. And then like Nick Rodriguez goes and goes and goes and goes in ADCC, and then we see this in the finals of ADCC. Like this matchup was compelling on Fight to Win to begin with. Now it's even more compelling because it's the rematch.
It's a rematch, and I'm really curious to see what kind of adjustments Nicky makes in the next couple weeks. He's got.
Well, you've just faced the guy. You know what works. You know what didn't work. Again, Fight to Win is a different rule set by far. It's not a point. It's sub only, but it'll be really interesting to see, like, because both these guys have now felt each other, and they felt each other at the highest level where the stakes are the highest. It's going to be interesting to see how they change.
Another huge story. Fionn Davies submitting Queen Bia Mesquita with a savage armbar.
He broke her arm.
Yeah.
Like, broke her arm, like down and backwards, and, like, looks like also dislocated the elbow. Like, I was Matt's side for this one. It was brutal. It was a brutal submission. It was the brutalest submission of the tournament. So
until
the
final.
I still think it was more brutal
until
than
the
that.
final.
And that you hate toe holds.
I hate toe holds, and I was blown away by Fionn's performance. Unfortunately, in the finals, she suffers what I consider the most brutal submission of the tournament. Bianca Basilia toe holds her, and I was, before Fionn even tapped, just like screaming in my seat. It was just, ugh. Yeah, I hate toe holds.
Pretty deep toe hold.
I hate toe holds, and yeah, I think Fionn sustains a pretty bad leg injury. She had to be carried off the mats. She did come back to the podium for medals.
She got basically carried to that as well.
Carried to that as well, yeah. And her knee looks wrapped up, so it looks like a ligament injury.
There were a lot of wrapped up knees to say. I think I saw...
Yeah, half of them were for Lachlan.
I saw Muhammad Ali's knee wrapped up.
If you were Brazilian, over 200 pounds, your knee had a substantial chance of being injured by Lachlan Giles.
It was a rough ADCC for knees. I think Muhammad's knee was wrapped up. Yuri's knee was wrapped up. Fionn's knee was wrapped up. Gaudio's knee was wrapped up. Let's see who else. I think Tyra Tolo's knee was wrapped up. I think for unrelated reasons. Let's see what else. Dude, there was because they had this like green not kinesial tape, pre-wrap that I saw all backstage because the guys had knees wrapped with ice like that entire yesterday and today. It was
the
like,
number of times I heard like medic to Mac 3 or whatever was like a little alarming. So hopefully,
dude, it's ADCC. So
yeah.
So those are all the storylines. Like we're getting to more of those matches a little later, but like those are the big storylines that we took away from this. Again, I'm gonna apologize right now. I basically have no voice. I'm going to do my best to continue and do the show like the best we can today, but I have no voice. So you get what you get. Emil's voice is honestly pretty decent.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't interviewing as much as you were, so.
No. So where do you want to start with this? Want to start with the ladies? Start with men? We started with men plus 99 pretty much the entire week. Want to keep that theme?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So moving on to the men's plus 99 kilogram division, starting off with the semifinals. We had Marcos Almeida Buchecha versus Kaynan Duarte.
Yeah, this was a contested match. What we've seen a lot, what we know about Buchecha is he will keep the pace as slow as he can up until the last minutes where he will attempt to dominate. So there was, in this case, he will match intensity as much as he needs to. He never expends more energy than he needs to. He was matching Kaynan the entire time. This is a heavily contested match. and it ends up going to overtime, and then overtime ends, goes to referee's decision, and they gave activity to Kaynan, much to everyone's surprise. Buchecha seemed shocked.
Yeah.
Certainly. So Kaynan progresses to the finals. On the other end of the bracket, we have Nicky Rodriguez versus Cyborg. Again, Nicky facing the most insane path to gold, which he didn't end up getting.
Dude, look at the bracket he went through. Like his starting match was Muhammad Ali. Second match was Orlando Sanchez. Third match was Cyborg. Fourth match was Kaynan Duarte. Like in the Cyborg match, again, the referee's decision, Cyborg was extremely upset about that decision.
Yeah, I thought the referee's decision made sense. Like, yeah, I personally, we've talked about this before on the podcast. I consider the passer to be the one who is like inherently more aggressive.
Yeah, and ADCC is a little interesting for that. I just feel like specifically for ADCC rules, typically the guy who is on the bottom has either been put there or elected to be there.
Right.
And so I feel like it is now the onus of the bottom player in that position to get something going.
Correct.
As long as the passer is engaging reasonably, I feel
here's where I think it makes sense. They will give the decisions to the passer. They'll also give the penalties to the passer. And so if you notice that, so I think that's fair. I think, if you're a passer, you're considered to be in that most advantageous position from a decision standpoint, but also if you're not doing anything, they will penalize you. And it's not like Nicky Rodriguez wasn't doing anything.
No.
He's very active.
That dude has one speed, and it's just like, I'm gonna go. And he has one speed with bursts of even more speed.
Yes.
So gets it done over Cyborg. Yep. On to the finals. We talked about the finals a little bit. Nicky Rodriguez versus Kaynan Duarte.
Yeah. In this case, we saw a substantial amount of stand up, but Kaynan is so patient. It's insane. He has the same kind of he definitely has the same kind of play as Buchecha. So it's interesting to see them to go head to head, which is he's totally patient, doesn't get flustered.
He's looking for what he wants.
Exactly.
He's going to play and get it at the speed that he wants to get it at, and he's going to stick to a game. I think one of the biggest things we see, or at least that I see, with a lot of the high-level guys is they have a specific kind of patience in game planning. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to engage only on the terms I want to engage on, and the ref can tell me whatever they're going to tell me repeatedly. I'm going to continue to engage on the favorable terms for me at the speed that I wish to do it at.
So there was a couple scrambles that were initiated during this match, and there were moments where Nicky Rodriguez looked like he could take Kaynan's back, but wasn't quite there.
He got close.
He got really close
once in the regulation.
But again, Kaynan is super patient. He knows what he's doing, and actually Kaynan ends up on Nicky Rodriguez's back
for
minutes.
Minutes. Gets the point. I think it was in the right in the beginning of the overtime.
Yeah,
he's on the back for minutes and minutes, and really cool. I saw his mat side. I was actually on the mats for this. I was listening to Jay Regabudo, Nicky's coach, talking Nicky through exactly what he should be doing, exactly how he should be defending. Like, get shoulder here, like when he was passing, get John hook here, like giving Nicky specific instructions of do this, do this, do this, do this. And Rodriguez was like doing the right thing, like constantly listening to his coach and doing exactly what his coach was doing. And Jay talked about this, I think, in a previous interview that he gave us probably like 4 or 6 months ago about Rodriguez, of just like, he's super coachable. And it was being mat side, being on the mats during this match, that was really evident of just like, wow, man, he just like, Jay is talking, Jay knows the game, Jay knows what he's looking for, he knows the game plan, and he's just giving Nick the information that Nick needs to make the correct choices on the mat. It was great. Kaynan gets it done. He's on the back for like a number of minutes in overtime, and then Nicky Rodriguez gets out with like, what?
30 seconds.
There are 23 or 30 seconds left, and you see him kick it into the next gear. Yeah. Like nobody's business. And he's passing, and he's double underpassing and trying to throw Duarte over to get to the back, and he does.
Almost. In the dying seconds of the match, he's trying to throw the hooks in. He never fully establishes back control, and Kaynan pops out. Yep.
So that was the match. Kaynan Duarte takes that 3-0 and is your plus 99 kilogram champion for Abu Dhabi Combat Club in 2019.
Making Lachlan's win even more impressive.
You beat Nicky Rodriguez. And then under 77 kilogram Lachlan Giles heel hooks you.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yep.
So that was that division. Dude, that match, definitely a little slower pace, but like really, really interesting. We're going to be seeing these guys for many, many years to come, I foresee. So I feel like this is one of those changing of the guard matches where we're going to see these guys run up against each other again, especially in 2 weeks from now. But I foresee, in coming ADCCs and coming events, we're going to see more of these gentlemen.
So on to the under 99 men's kilogram, or the
men's kilogram division. Emil, how tired are you, buddy?
Super tired. Not as tired as you are, though.
I literally, Emil went to take a phone call, and I laid down. I was plugging the camera in to make sure it was all charged before we did the recording, and I laid down and shut my eyes, literally on the carpet in our Airbnb, and I went to sleep.
Yeah, I was gone for 5 minutes. So on to the men's under 99 kilogram bracket. We have in the semifinals Gordon Ryan versus Lucas the Hulk Barbosa. This match was insanely close. Mm-hmm. My heart was in my mouth basically the whole time, and the stand up was insane. The pace that Hulk was pushing was insane. Felt like Gordon was kind of staving it off the attacks for a while.
Don't weather the storm there.
Yeah, 100%. But
we've seen him do that in the past, and it's one thing that you can throw a lot at the dude. It's very hard to get him into deep water.
Absolutely. Excuse me. So in the last minute, Gordon is able to, on a scramble, get a back take on Lucas, the Hulk Barbosa, gets both hooks in.
Gets the points.
3 points up. And it was off of a front headlock that he got. He was able to shoot around. Time expires. Gordon Ryan progresses to the finals.
So the other side of the bracket was Vinny Magalhaes versus Tractor. Versus Tractor. Did Vinny do this match?
I honestly didn't see much of this. I'm sorry. They're both named Vinny, by the way, I think.
Oh, God, that's super confusing, the bracket. That's
why. It was Magalhaes versus Tractor, and I didn't see much of this match.
It was a 2-0 match.
Yep.
I think I missed it as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've not got a chance to go back and watch this, which is weird because I'm actually looking at the brackets now. I'm going, did I miss this?
There was 112 matches this weekend. It's okay.
Well, I'm remember where it was because the semifinals were running there wasn't a whole lot else going on, so that's why.
There was because on each match. There was there was a semifinals.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
I was probably watching because there was a bunch of semifinals that were just crazy.
It was nuts. My head was on a swivel. The semifinals going concurrently were insane.
So finals match, we had Gordon Ryan versus Tractor.
Yeah, and in this case, Gordon is able to completely dictate everything here.
Beautiful position of work.
And this was the only men's division to have a submission in it. Gordon's able to take the back
in the finals.
Yeah.
Right.
Take the back, get rear naked choke, and
just
and
beautiful. Honestly, this match was a ton of fun to watch. I really enjoyed this finals match. You got to see the really great positional work from Gordon Ryan, how he just gets there, how he traps the harms, how he fights for the choke. Great work. Great submission. Gordon Ryan was. We'll talk about him in the absolute here in a minute. I'll get into what he said after all of that. So first place Gordon Ryan, second place Tractor, third place Barbosa, fourth place Magalhaes in the plus 99 kilogram division because we didn't do that before. We had first place Kaynan Duarte, second place Nicky Rodriguez, third place Buchecha, and fourth place Cyborg. So moving on to the men's under 88 kilogram division in the semifinals, we had Craig Jones versus Thor.
Yeah, this was a actually pretty quick match.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Really quick. Craig Jones just looked
basically
dominant.
there was a leg exchange. Thor was getting into a leg shootout with Craig Jones. And actually, rather than even really finish him with the heel hook, Craig's like, fuck it. Takes the back off of the leg exchange, gets the rear naked choke, finishes that off real quick. So Craig is now 3 for 3 in submissions going into the final.
Dude, and super great performance from John moving into this.
First, man.
You're getting it in, didn't win the trials, got in as a replacement, comes in, sub into the semifinals.
Absolutely. Just tough draw with Craig Jones. So on the other side, we have Hinger versus Mateus Diniz. Actually, there's basically a last second guard pass that Diniz hits on Hinger as time expires. Diniz in this case was imposing his game on Hinger. Hinger, I think, where Hinger shines is obviously his wrestling is really great.
Yeah.
But more than anything, Hinger gets amazing subs off of scrambles, and Diniz was not allowing that at all. He was crushing him.
Just controlling the position really, really well.
Yep.
And, do you want to talk about, so let's talk about the finals match, Craig Jones versus Mateus Diniz.
Yes. So in this case, similar thing happened, essentially, where Mateus imposed his game. He was in top half.
You called this one.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you called it. I think
I also missed a bunch of calls. So.
You did, but I think this is the one where I think your data in what you analyzed leading into this one kind of shined true the most. You went, look, he's been here. We've seen him match up with Jones before, and it was really like it was what we'd seen before. Diniz dictating the places, not allowing for Jones in the areas that Jones is strong, and doing what he needed to do. Got 2 points. It was a long match, 30-minute match, and gets it done.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
you want to talk about the consolation matches at all? Or no, I realize we've not gone through those for end of the brackets.
It's okay. If there's an amazing one, we can talk about it. But
all right. Moving on to 77 kilogram division for the men.
Let's read off the Let's read off the 88 kilogram. First place winner we have Mateus Diniz. Second place we have Craig Jones, and third place we have Josh Hinger.
And fourth place we have John Blank. So now onto the men's under 77 kilogram division. In the quarterfinals, we had JT Torres versus Gary Tonin.
Yeah, this was another example of kind of the same thing as Mateus Diniz, where what I've realized, I went and I looked back. JT Torres this is his fourth ADCC. He has never had a point scored on him in ADCC, ever.
That's some crazy shit.
That's crazy shit. And so it gives me an appreciation.
Also, I don't believe that. Is that true, really?
Yes, I double and triple checked it. Now, he still lost. He lost by submission.
Okay.
But he might have lost by decision as well. But he has never had a point scored on him.
It explains why he was coaching Galvao in the Superfight.
So this goes, when I was like, doing the preview for ADCC, I was like, JT Torres' like biggest margin of victory was 3-0. That's how he plays. Mm-hmm. He dominates. He cedes nothing.
Yeah.
He gives you nothing, and he gets the points that he needs, and he establishes control, and he keeps it, and that's it. And he's insanely dominant, and so he's able to do this to Gary Tonin. Same thing. He kind of just shuts the game down, gets to mount, gets 2 points. That's it. Beats Gary Tonin 2-0. That score doesn't tell you how badly JT beat Gary Tonin. It was a dominant performance.
We've talked about this before with Tonin and JT. It's like he kind of has his number. I think this is the third time they've met.
Yeah, well, JT has a lot of people's number.
He does. He has Wagner's number. He has JT's. He has Gordon's number. Gary's number. Great performance from Torres. Again, I'm super happy we saw Gary in this. Like, I'm a big Gary Tonin fan.
100%. Yeah. I love Gary Tonin. But yeah, that's exactly what happened.
We did get to see Gary Tonin versus Dante Leon.
Yes.
In the consolation match, and that was amazing. Gary Tonin gets it done with a submission. So in the 77 kilogram non-constellation match, on the other side of that bracket, we had Dante Leon versus Wagner Hosha.
Yeah, absolutely amazing match. Basically, insane back and forth, really contested. Actually, Dante Leon hitting some amazing sub attempts. He had a deep guillotine on Wagner Hosha, so deep that when Wagner came out, Wagner wasn't smiling. This is the only match I watched where Wagner wasn't smiling. Dante was smiling, even though Wagner was doing the same thing, being really intense. And then into overtime, it goes into overtime, scoreless, and same thing. Dante gets a really deep submission attempt, and it goes to ref's decision. Interestingly, I think just between all the takedown attempts, that Wagner was racking up the whole time.
Just more activity,
more
movement. Like Dante
pressing.
had some really like good submission attempts, but I feel like Wagner
He was kind of counter wrestling.
Yeah, I feel like Wagner just like played to the rule set more and just was like he put up more.
Yep.
I think that's why he gets the decision here. Looked good again. Wagner always looks good. Anything else on this one?
Nope.
Finals match, we had JT Torres versus Wagner Hosha. The rematch of what we saw at Fight to Win, a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. And the match looked I want to say it was similar, but like a lot of the same elements that were present in their first match were here. Both guys, a lot of stand-up, wanted to impose their game, heavy collar ties, a lot of like smacking and back of the crown on the hand and like pushing and like really, really like alpha wrestling and engagement on the feet.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this case, again, JT does what he does. He imposes his game. He scores 3 points. He gets the win.
In Flow Wrestling, in Flow Arena here, it's listed as submission 1959. So there was something weird that happened. JT gets to the back here, throws the choke in, and there's like 1 or 2 seconds left, and Wagner like looks like he taps, like okay, like we're done. So it may be listed as submission here. It was time running out.
Yeah.
Like JT wasn't finishing the choke. Wagner like tapped, but it wasn't.
It was.
I don't know. It's listed as sub here. It was weird because Wagner kind of.
It was just an acknowledgement that
he got beat is what it looked like to me. He did it via tap before time ran out, or like I thought after time ran out. It's weird. The result here is weird. It was not in my eyes a submission. It was Wagner going, okay, time's run out. You're on my back. I got beat. Good match.
Yep.
Not like, oh, you're choking me. I lost.
100%.
So. Great match. JT Torres, now 2-time ADCC champion. I got a nice interview with him backstage after the awards. Trying to get that out as soon as possible. It will hopefully be up on the Grappling Rewind Instagram and YouTube page as soon as I can get it up.
Yeah.
Moving on to the under 66 kilogram division for the men.
This is where Emil's predictions go horribly wrong.
Dude, so wrong.
So in the semifinals,
I mean, my predictions weren't much better. I made the same prediction you did.
Yeah. Well, I was delightfully surprised by this. So
how fucking good is Tanquinho?
He's incredible.
That's what this division should be called.
Yes.
Like how fucking good is Tanquinho? Like everyone kind of like, oh, he's older, he kind of lost a step, X, Y, and Z, and like
that's mainly me.
Dude, a lot of people counted him out, like me included. I was just like, yeah, I'm not sure. And then we were looking through his credentials last night in recording the recap show for day 1, and we were both going like, yo, he's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, well, he did really impressive things. I think his most impressive wins up until today, in terms of recency, 2013 IBJJF Worlds run. So 6 years. He's towards I think 35 or something like that. But
on the older end,
I was dead wrong.
He made a transition over to MMA and he's done a lot of stuff.
So he on one side of the semifinals, it's Paulo Miao versus Tanquinho. Really interesting match. Actually goes into overtime. And at this point, Paulo needs his best weapon. We've started to see him go back to his guard now, and kind of ditch some of that new game that he's been expanding. And he does a really cool piece of gamesmanship, which is Paulo shoots a low single to open overtime. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like shooting a low single. All right.
Let's see where this goes.
Let's see where this goes. And he just kind of, Tanquinho easily defends it. And Paulo just kind of sits there, like not quite turtled, but like in that low single position.
I got the leg, but I'm not driving for the leg. I'm trying to hold.
He waits for Tanquinho to drive in, and then he sits back in the guard so that he doesn't get the negative point. Like, it was great gamesmanship.
It was neato. I was like, I saw him do it. I was like, oh, I know what he's doing. He's like, this is where he's trying to take the match. But then that's knowing your rules. Knowing what you need to do. And we saw that with the Gordon Ryan versus Buchecha match in the finals with Gordon knows exactly how long he's able to come up and not come up, where it's like not seen as.
Oh, that drove me crazy. But let's stick to this match.
But again, know your rule set.
Know your rule set. Yeah.
Paulo knew the rule set here, and this is why you tell your students and know what rules you're competing under, know what the ref is looking for, so that you.
But guess what, Maine? That shit don't matter with Tanquinho.
That shit don't matter with Tanquinho. You are correct, Emil.
It doesn't matter if you have a dope guard. Tanquinho just looked absolutely incredible, and he is able to basically get the rest decision on activity, which was very clear. You know, he had a bunch of near passes basically, and so he progresses on into the finals. And on the other end, we have an incredible story. We talked about it already. Ty Rotolo.
We kind of gave away this match already.
The 16-year-old prodigy from Atos, and Kennedy Maciel, Cabrina Jr., in it for his father, taking his father's mantle, and able to get the rear naked choke over
deep into the second round deep into the first round overtime, like right at the end. It's listed here as 14:40.
Yeah.
So that's out of 15 minutes. Like,
yeah,
that's about, again, pulling it out, because there was 2 deep Darce attempts from Rotolo, and Kennedy is able, again, the third match we've seen him able to pull it out in the last, like, dying 30 seconds of the match.
So Kennedy Maciel then goes into the finals to face Tanquinho, the man who defeated his father.
You were super hype on this.
In the 2013
like, the man who defeated, I think you texted like the group chat for the Grappling Rewind, like the man who defeated his father or something like that. You were all about this storyline.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, man, like, can he beat the guy? Can he beat the guy that beat his father?
Yeah. But, you know, Tanquinho is just incredible. This match goes into overtime, but doesn't matter. Tanquinho is able to...
No, sorry. It doesn't go overtime because it's the finals match. So
20
minutes. Yeah, sorry. I'm looking at the results here, and I was like, 20-minute match. That means we had 2 overtimes. No. For the finals matches are all 20 minutes with a 10-minute overtime and up to 2 10-minute overtimes. I don't think we saw any of them go into the second 10-minute overtime.
No, I think, those are only if there's no... or if the ads are even, basically.
Yeah, and there's no points, no ads, no penalties.
I like that you don't get to see the ads. Because I feel like people are less concerned with trying to get ads and more concerned with just trying to get points or
trying to win.
Right. So, Tanquinho was able to win 3 points to nothing. He very dominant.
Looked good.
Yeah, looked really good.
Just a veteran performance, honestly, is what I can kind of chalk it up to. Like, I think Kennedy will be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he definitely
in a couple years. You see him
himself.
adding new tools. You're seeing him take away new things from this. You've seen him, this last year have some struggles with, I think, who armbarred him?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
Wasn't Argis?
Gaudio?
No, not wait.
Oh, no, sorry. No, yeah.
Mateus Gabriel.
Yeah,
Mateus Gabriel, like, he learned from that, and like you've seen him get better and better and kind of incorporate the new things he's learned. I think he'll take this as a learning experience. I think we are definitely going to see more from Cabrina Jr. Looking forward to it. Again, Augusto Tanquinho, how long is he going to do it, and how long can he operate at that highest level? Again, for the guys at the weight class under 66, typically we don't. Actually, I would say that we have Cabrina, who's definitely older. I'm used to MMA math, where guys get to like 35, 36, and like they start to kind of like fade out. Jiu-Jitsu doesn't seem to have that problem as much. You have some guys that can really do it, veterans, that are a little older. So it'd be really interesting to see if Tanquinho comes back next year. If we see him on more Fight to Win matches. I didn't get a chance to do a follow-up interview with him, asking him what he was planning on doing, but super excited for.
Well, he has a fight to win next week.
Yeah. I mean, beyond that.
Yeah. But a super, super awesome performance. Great division overall. Was super surprised by the results.
So the championship places, we have Tanquinho taking Augusto Tanquinho Mendez taking first, Kennedy Maciel, Cabrina Jr. taking second, Paulo Miao taking third, and Ty Rotolo taking fourth. Let's move on to let's do the women first.
Yeah.
Then let's move on to the absolute for the men. Then let's move on to the Superfight.
Yeah.
Sound good? All right. So women's division, the plus 60 kilogram division, the semifinals match. First match we had Gabby Garcia versus Ana Vieira Baby.
Yeah. I mean, I was super hoping for Ana Carolina just because it's a colossal size difference.
Yeah, I think Ana Carolina was probably the smallest person in the plus 60 kilogram division. Gabby Garcia I believe she's probably bigger than Tiny Porfirio. We didn't see the matchup, honestly, which made me a little disappointed. But
Gabby takes a decision over.
Looked super dominant against Baby. Like just did what Gabby Garcia does: impose her game, impose her will, impose her pressure and top game on Vieira. Vieira was never able to get really anything great going against Garcia. Garcia, was transitioning her pressure really, really well and is able to get the ref's decision after 15 minutes.
Tayane Porforio on the other end faces Karina Santi. There was a lot of over-under on the feet, basically.
Yeah.
Lots of snap downs and wrestling throws to the mat.
I didn't have the best view of this. I was actually on the other side of the mats when this was happening.
They kept throwing each other, but then popping right up. So there weren't really points scored on that.
Karina. Sorry, continue.
Yep, Santi ends up basically taking the decision on that.
Over Ferrer. So in the finals, we have Gabby Garcia versus Karina Santi.
Yeah, and this was it's Gabby's world, They're just living in it.
Dude, she's so good in this weight class against this competition. Like, she just does it well. Paths to the back.
Yep.
Rear naked choke.
Yeah.
7 minutes, 35 seconds. Looks like every Gabby Garcia dominant performance.
I don't think it was a rear naked choke.
Oh no! Sorry,
no,
it was not
top half. It was the
armbar.
Straight armbar.
It was
straight.
Well, it wasn't. It was like the straight armbar shoulder lock combo. Not a rear naked choke. Jeez, what match was I thinking of?
Yeah.
No. Garcia looks really good. She gets like a topside crucifix, but not quite, like completely paralleled over. And then she reaches over on the far side arm of Karina Santi, blocks the head with the elbow, and then she does that really nice. I have the mic in my hand, so I can't do it with my hands. It's gonna bother me. Does the figure four, like arm on arm, rotate over like you can go straight armbar, but also attacking the shoulder.
Rolls it out.
Hits it really quickly. She has like really, really great positioning on the submission there, and gets it. Karina kind of lays there for a second, and looks like she's kind of injured, but then she's up and she looks fine.
Yeah, she's cool.
So, dude, Garcia gets it via submission.
Now becomes
4-time.
Yep.
I don't think she put down the 4 on her hand the entire time, and gives, I think, one of the best post-fight interviews.
It was really sweet.
It was really sweet. It was like, look, I got a lot of haters, but everyone I've spoken to here this weekend has been outstanding.
Yeah.
Thank you for my family. It was honestly, watch this match and then listen to her post-fight interview, because it was like emotional, and it was like, damn, she's a real great lady.
She is. Yeah. She even thanked Seth. And
it was just a really great interview. It made me like really happy to be part of the Jiu-Jitsu community. It was one of those interviews where I was like, we have a really cool community with a lot of really great people.
Yeah.
And
I'm a huge Gabby fan.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So, first place we got Gabby Garcia. Second place we got Karina Santi. Third place we have Tayane Porforio, and fourth place we have Ana Carolina Vieira, Baby Vieira.
So, on to the women's under 60 kilogram division. On one end of the semifinals, we have Bia Mesquita versus Fionn Davies. We already talked about it.
Let's talk about this match in more detail.
Oh my God, they came out guns blazing.
Dude, they both come out like that.
Yeah.
This was a great match. Bia always comes out super aggressive. Fionn always matches pace.
One of my most anticipated matches. And I definitely thought Fionn stood a really good chance of beating Bia this time, especially after what was a close match. The points don't indicate it. Their last match was
UAJJF?
I think it was UAJJF. I can't recall. It was definitely a gi match, and Fionn was up for a while in that.
Might
match.
have been Worlds.
I don't think it was Worlds. No.
I'm blanking on it now.
Yeah, but anyway, I did not anticipate Fionn getting this amazing submission. She basically gets positionally a triangle from the back, mm-hmm. and then uses that to wrench the arm out and just attack one of the most savage arm bars I've seen.
How tough is Bia? She eats it.
She's
for
amazing.
A while, and you watch, and I was like mat side,
complete dislocation
next to the mat, next to the kind of not perpendicular, 45 degrees from the actual submission happening, and you watch the arm come out, and you're like, oh, okay, she's flexible. Oh, it looks like it's gonna hurt, but she's maybe, and it gets pulled out and it gets turned and twisted, and then I'm looking at the arm like, oh, she's got her arm turned down, and then I realize that nope, the arm's just bent the wrong way, and she still hasn't tapped yet. And then Theon has to basically turn the arm down even more, and then eventually gets the tap from Bia. And at that point, I was like, even through the rash guard, you can kind of tell like, oh, man, that was a rough sub on the arm. And I think what I heard, so I heard that it was broken. I heard that it was dislocated. I heard both, and I heard that it was dislocated. So I don't.
I'm gonna go with dislocated until I hear and see.
So I don't know, but there's definitely an injury to the arm.
Yep.
Because she did not fight for her fourth place match. I think Elvira Karpinen took that match on just walkover for forfeit, what do you want to call it? Because Bia Mosquito was unable to come to the match because her arm was pretty damaged in the match before.
So incredible win by Fionn, sends her to the finals.
Super upset. I mean, it's a little bit a big upset.
I wouldn't say
win.
an upset. No, I think like I said before,
I think an upset.
We had previewed this, and I said that this was something that I think we could see. This match, I would be excited for it, and I could see Fionn potentially disrupting Bia.
She's just so good with that sub game.
Yeah.
Like, Fionn just is really, really dangerous with the submissions.
So on the other end of the bracket, we have Bianca Basilio versus Elvira Karpinen. Really dominant again by Bianca. It's not really close.
I mean, 2-0 is still pretty close.
Yeah, it's
after 15 minutes.
It's
the numbers don't necessarily. Dude, ADCC is historically not a really high scoring tournament. So it's like a match that ends as 2-0. It's just like doesn't necessarily tell the whole tale of the match, like you're saying. But 2-0 is still kind of close.
So finals: Beyond Davies versus Bianca Basilio. Oh my God, this was just again.
You don't like toe holds.
I don't like toe holds.
This goes out super.
This wasn't like a one of those matches where Bianca was dictating where she wanted it to be. This was one of those. They got into a sort of neutral shootout position.
With the legs, they're both kind of going back and forth on the legs. You're like, okay, like it's anyone's ball game, but nothing looks like too dangerous, too deep. There's a heel hook here, there's a faux hold here, there's moving around.
Bianca gets that Kimura grip for the on the foot for the toe hold.
We call that a toe hold grip where I'm from, Emil.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, like the setup for it.
Yeah.
When you get it well, it is.
Your hands are folded through and under, and you're grabbing on the toes. Like, there's a really good leverage point where you can fold the foot over and under to basically attack the ligaments of the foot.
Yep.
And I thought, and one side I saw Fionn kind of going for what I thought was going to be a heel hook, and Bianca folds the foot down and just crunches in, and Davies is on the mat for a pretty decent amount of time after, in some pain with the leg. We saw her kind of limping around. She actually was carried off the mat after this one. So, dude, the women come for blood.
That just incredible.
50% of your people in the semifinals match for this division are walking away with pretty decent injuries.
Yeah, pretty much actually. Yeah.
Like,
yep.
The ladies divisions are always like gangster. It's the best way, because again, there's these are the top women. We're only looking at, like, trying to do math here to make my argument, and I'm having a struggle. How many? 8 women per division.
Yeah, 8 women.
16. The top 16 women in the world.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
Like,
it's super condensed compared to the men's, and you see just off the bat really amazing matchups, and really amazing competitors with incredible performances. So
go back and watch all the semifinals for this division. It's a treat.
It is.
First place we got Bianca Basilio, second place Fionn Davies, third place Elvira Karpinen, and fourth place Beatriz Mosquito. So that does it for the women's under 60 kilogram division. I'm going to move on to the super fight or the absolute.
Let's
do the absolute first. So the men's absolute. In the absolute.
Well, actually, let's cover the super fight first. Let's end on the absolute. The super fight.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah. All right. So super fight, we had Felipe Pena. The previous. So okay, we've not talked about the absolute. If you're not familiar with the super fight for ADCC, if you're not familiar with what that is basically whoever wins the previous year's ADCC absolute division.
It's the lineal championship. That's just the way to describe it. It's
you
the
get
lineal
to go
absolute.
Fight the guy that won before you, or the guy that won the super fight before you.
Right.
Andre Galvao has beat everyone. Andre Galvao got the championship, 2011?
something like that.
Something like that.
I think this was his 4th defense.
Yeah. 2011, he defended it in 13, 15, 17, and 19.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yep. So, in this case, it was against Felipe Pena.
Yep.
And they had
absolute champion for 2017.
They had
Beef.
previously like gone 2-2 in matches all time together.
Yep.
So this was a contested match.
This match was aggressive at the beginning.
It was...
Dude, they were
like a boxing match.
Dude, they were hitting each other, and the referee wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, who's gonna step in there? Who's gonna be like,
No
please, Mr. Galvao, don't punch Mr.
Please
Pena.
don't punch him in the back of the face with your hand aggressively as you walk forward and look absolutely terrifying, ready for blood. Oh, please, Mr. Felipe Pena, don't do the same. Oh, you guys are totally good with this. This is what you're doing. There was one of them that they kind of went like, hey. There was a palm strike thrown at one point, and it was kind of like, all right, like that's a little bit much.
So Andre does a lot of these heavy collar ties, and Maine and I I can't remember if it was you I was speculating with. I was trying to figure out what Andre was trying to set up, and basically he did a great job. He kept throwing the collar ties, getting Felipe to be distracted up high, and then he shoots a low blast double like, you know, minutes into the match.
Yeah. Sets it up like he's a trite if he like sets up, and he's just looking for you to eventually like basically get tired of defending the setup, and then he comes over and he just like kind of
level changes, boom.
Yeah.
Knocks Felipe to the ground. Felipe pops back up. And then later, Andre double legs him off the mat into the judges' table, and
there's still Felipe's defending the takedown, and they're kind of like off the mat at that point. And this reset was beautiful.
Well, hello, before the reset.
Okay.
You know,
I'm ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
Felipe's ribs slammed into the side of this.
Oh, yeah. So he got hit, and he hit the side, like the corner
table.
of the table.
Oh,
he looked like, and you watch the match, like usually when guys hit tables, the table kind of goes flying. There was something like
on the ground.
There was something anchoring the table, or table got in the way or something, because you see Felipe hit the table and it slides back, and then it stops sliding back, and Felipe like impacts the side of the corner of the table, and it really changed the matchup like a lot.
Yeah.
You saw
Felipe was on the ground for a long
some pain,
time,
like pointing at his rib, and he kept pointing at the same place on his rib, and like there was big speculation that he actually ended up breaking his rib or something like that.
It's definitely possible. He looked very winded at the very least after that.
Yeah, there was that sequence was game changing.
I think you put it best. Like he wilted after that.
I think it looked like he sustained an internal injury of some sort.
Yep.
And he immediately got very tired.
Yeah.
And the pacing changed. And Galvao
got the 2 points.
Mm-hmm. So I've lost track here. Was this?
I can't remember.
Okay, so
it doesn't
I'm
matter.
gonna talk about this. The sequences, they may be out of order here. There's a great takedown off the mat, and they're basically off the mat right next to the television screen that's showing the points and the time directly next to the mat. And 2 referees step in, they move them, and they reset the position. And Galvao, and they go back and forth. And they reset the position. I think it was one of the best, aside from like a guard reset, one of the best complex position resets I've ever seen. It looked exactly the same as what they had gone off the mat with, and they start the matchup again, and Felipe immediately starts defending the exact same way he was defending, and Galvao starts attacking the exact same way he was attacking. And usually in a reset like this, there's always like some positional change, and it ends up different. This was a beautiful reset by ADCC in that position. Galvao was able to get him down, get the points, and that was the match. Basically goes 30 minutes.
Yep.
It was a long match.
Match.
And so Andre Galvao is now still retains the Superfight championship for ADCC.
It'll be curious to see if he defends it against Gordon Ryan in 2 years.
So talking about that, Andre Galvao previously to this ADCC had said publicly and stated that like he was done. He's defended his title. He's getting older, wants to focus on different things. Like, he is done defending his title. He's going to relinquish it and give it up. But all of a sudden, Gordon Ryan wins the absolute bracket that we'll talk about here in a second. And Gordon Ryan goes, look, what I want to do is I want to come back. I want to do both my weight. I want to do the absolute, and I want to do the super fight.
Jesus.
Because usually they make guys pull out of, because it's a money thing.
Right.
You get paid $40,000 to win the super fight, $10,000 to not lose super fight, to like participate in it. Absolute division is $40,000. Your division is $10,000. So financially, if you get the opportunity to do super fight, I'm going to fight one guy and win $40,000 versus fight the absolute on the off chance, not on the off chance, but I got to fight through all these guys to win the absolute. Like the path financially of least, of least resistance is the super fight.
Yeah.
So guys don't request, or ADCC doesn't allow them to do both. Gordon Ryan's like, look, I want to do both. Andre had been retired after this, but he went, I'm going to defend it again.
Yeah.
I'll defend this again. So whether he does or not, I'm super interested to see. This is the Gordon Ryan matchup that we talked about, a while ago. They're trying to make it. Galvao was like, look, I want $1 million to make the matchup.
Yeah, that seemed more like a, I'm going to throw an absurd number out so I don't have to talk about this. Yeah. Now I feel like, look, I feel like the legacy thing could be,
and here's the thing.
Playing into it.
Here's the thing. He said Gordon Ryan missed his chance to fight me in this. He lost to Pena in 2017, and Galvao was like, look, he got a chance to fight me in the super fight, but he didn't win the chance. So it's like, he didn't win the chance. Like, that's on him for not winning that. Gordon Ryan won it now.
Yeah.
And so I think, it would be interesting to see if he defends it. Neither would surprise me. I'm super amped for that matchup, though.
Yeah, I want it. So let's get into the men's absolute bracket.
This shit was fucking crazy.
This shit was the opening round was nuts.
So I got the bracket, and the first matchup was Marcus Almeida Buchecha versus Keith Krikorian.
Oh my god! When I saw this, I was just like flabbergasted.
I was like, man, they give Keith a rough run. Like that's a rough thing. But dude, that's why I love Keith though. Yeah. They were like, they probably went, you got Buchecha first round. He was like, okay,
cool.
And then he gets in there and, dude, minutes. Yeah. Like, he defends, he's active, he's working. Buchecha eventually just really just puts the pressure into him. He's able to get past the guard. He's able to get a sub, about 4:15.
Yeah, that was a rear naked choke, if I recall.
I think I had to get
this
back.
This is hard to remember because 7 out of the 8 opening rounds in the absolute ended in subs.
The absolute started, and I want to say we were through round 1 and the quarterfinals in 7 minutes. It was probably a little longer than that, but it felt really quick. So that was the first match.
4 minutes, 15 seconds.
Second match, Aaron Tex Johnson versus Thor. Subs him in 27 seconds is what's listed here. I thought it was like 17 seconds.
Tex subs Thor with heel hook.
No.
Straight ankle lock.
Yeah, straight ankle lock. Like super quick. Okay. Next match, Muhammad Ali versus John Hansen. Sub in 9:15. Okay, one of the longer subs. Tim Spriggs versus Jared Dopp. Sub via like Keisakatame, like
neck,
like scarf holdy, cranky, guillotine thing in 4 minutes and 39 seconds.
Jared Dopp to sleep.
Puts Dopp out. And I thought Dopp tapped, and then you looked and like Dopp's like kind of laying there moving around a little bit, and the ref lifts his legs, and then like Dopp kind of comes to and looks at the ref and like talks, and he goes, oh, okay, I know what happened. So like super, I don't know, actually, I want to go back and watch this sub because it's a super unique and interesting sub. And I watched it Matt's side, but I haven't got a chance to rewatch it yet. Next match, Gordon Ryan versus Pedro Mourinho. Sub
in 3 minutes. I actually didn't see what this was.
I think it was a renegade joke.
Okay.
Again, it was super quick. Gary Tonin versus Edwin Najmi. Sub in 8. It's listed as 18 seconds. I heard it was 15 seconds.
Flying scissor takedown.
Heel hook.
Boom.
It's funny. I was talking to Tex right before this match, and Tex basically went from having the fastest sub and the prize money to immediately getting beaten by Gary Tonin.
Yeah, Gary's like, nah, that's mine.
And I think it was really funny because I don't know what the fastest sub in ADCC history is that was legit. That was the one worked match years ago that was like for sub money, fastest sub. Tex might have had the fastest sub in ADCC, and then immediately gets broken by Gary Tonin.
Booyah.
In like 17 seconds, which is just, for me, it's just hilarious because it's the fastest time to break that record as well.
And now, our favorite match of the evening, Kaynan Duarte versus Lachlan Giles.
We talked about this, dude. No one expected Lachlan to be able to pull it out. Subs him via heel hook in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Go back and watch this. There's some really interesting mechanics that Lachlan Giles uses to get the leg over.
Yeah,
Apparently,
the mechanics are Lachlan's really fucking strong, man.
yeah, Emil has a theory.
I have a theory.
That I don't necessarily disagree with. That Lachlan is like a little more strong than people give him credit for or think he is. And so when he locks onto you and he's able to pull you in, he's actually really, really good with his body mechanics to pull you in.
Well, there's a number of reasons why I say that. The big one being that, you know, a lot of times when you see bigger guy with a smaller guy attempting a leg lock like that, the big guy will just kind of fold their leg underneath them and it's no longer like threatening.
Yeah.
We never saw that. They weren't able to fold their legs underneath.
Just kind of like sit on it. And like they're never able to get there with Lachlan. Lachlan's able to just like either out positionally or like strength in a weird way at the bottom level. Given his like he can fold his body underneath in a way that most big guys can't.
Yep.
He's able to get to the leg locks. Again, we see Tex Johnson also as a bigger guy, able to fold his body and get some unorthodox leg locks. But it's really cool to see Lachlan Giles get this. We talked about it in the beginning segment of this show, how awesome this particular match was. Go back and watch this. Honestly,
I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to be rewatching them for sure to try to figure out exactly how Lachlan
literally go back and watch the whole Absolute. Like, it's super quick. It's like it's literally awesome. It felt like 7 minutes, the first round and second round total. Next match, we had Mike Perez versus Patrick Gaudio. This was probably the slowest match of the Absolute.
It's the only non-submission
in the first round.
In the first round, correct.
Yeah, it was score. Patrick Gaudio gets 2 points. Next, on the quarterfinals, Marcus Almeida Buchecha versus Tex Johnson.
Yep, defeats Tex 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Muhammad Ali versus Tim Spriggs. This was
this was such a dope match. I was shocked. So this is basically in the quarterfinals is where teammates, if they've both progressed, will meet to eliminate because they don't want to have a finals between teammates. And this was amazing because Muhammad Ali is much bigger than Tim Spriggs, and Tim Spriggs was still throwing him around.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? That was nuts.
That was nifty. It was cool because they didn't have corners either.
Yeah, man.
So it was like you watched just a match with 2 dudes from the same camp with no corners, and they were going at it.
They were going at it so hard, they literally broke a TV.
Yeah.
This is some WWF shit. Like, through
Muhammad's
each other.
foot, like, crushed a TV.
Yeah. It was amazing. Really, really great match, but... You know, Muhammad is a much bigger guy, obviously, so
able to get it done. Next match, dude. This match, Gordon Ryan versus Gary Tonin. The crowd lost their mind when these two walked out on the mat.
This felt like WWF.
Have these guys ever met in competition before?
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't think they have.
It was great because they announced Gordon Ryan, Gary Tonin. They walk out. Danaher. Which corner does he go to? He walks into Gordon Ryan's corner, and then you see Tom DeBlass in his ref shirt walk out and go to Gary's corner. It was hilarious. The crowd was going nuts when they saw Tom DeBlass come out to coach. So it was a really hilarious moment.
Well, because Tom DeBlass was Gary Tonin's first instructor. Not first instructor, but I think he's a black belt under Tom DeBlass.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like, he just trains with Danaher now, but... Black belt under Tom DeBlass, so Tom DeBlass.
No, it was just great because
cool.
all 4 of those guys are obviously know each other quite well.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Tom real briefly. He's going to continue to run the East Coast trials for ADCC, at least for the next one.
Sweet. Then we have Lachlan Giles defeating Patrick Gaudio by submission in 3 minutes.
Via the same shit that he hit Duarte with.
Gordon Ryan submits Gary Tonin in 3 minutes. Rear naked choke.
3 minutes, 11 seconds, rear naked choke. It looks exactly like the pathway to the back that we've seen Gordon Ryan hit. It was a great match, honestly. Really enjoyed it. Really good pathing to the back. Tonin knows what's up, but is unable to stop it.
So we have Marcus Buchecha Almeida defeating Muhammad Ali by submission, 3-0.
Dude, same thing. Gets that back, and then you see Buchecha like lock his legs over and he's able to
traps Muhammad Ali's arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this was the match where we were sitting there with everyone, and it was crazy because everyone was discussing like, okay, Lachlan Giles is in your quarterfinals. Like, he's gonna fight one of these guys. He either fights Buchecha next, or he fights Ali. And it was just like, this is crazy.
Well, no. You mean, on the other end, Gordon Ryan versus Lachlan Giles.
Well, because whoever for the consolation match.
Well, yeah,
for the, we're talking about for the third
we
place.
haven't talked about the result yet, but yes.
Okay, so I'm talking about it out of order. I mean, I'm sorry, it is 11:40 at night. I'm very tired.
Gordon Ryan submits Lachlan Giles. Basically, yeah.
Honestly, it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take.
Yeah,
like Lachlan makes him work really tight, and Gordon just like kind of
from
like
the mount gets the gift wrap.
Doesn't struggle, but like has to take his time, and he's not getting Lachlan any space, and he learned from the previous Lachlan Giles matches, like, okay, like I gotta really pressure and control this guy and not give him space and respect his submission game. Gets to the top, gets to the mount, gets to the gift wrap, gets to the back, gets to the choke.
Yep, and then Lachlan faces Muhammad Ali. We already covered that.
Let's cover it again.
Place.
It was awesome. He leg locks Muhammad Ali, and everyone loses their mind.
260-pound, like Roman statue,
dude.
Muhammad Ali.
That was one of the top 5 pop-offs for the crowd of ADCC 2019. Was like the crowd was, everyone was like Lachlan, just like cheering, and then he beats Muhammad Ali, and you're just like, yo, this is a great event. Like the entire thing was just amazing to watch. Go back and watch the entire Absolute. So next match, we have the finals for the men's Absolute division.
Buchecha.
Marcos Almeida, Buchecha versus Gordon King Ryan.
Yeah, this match was there was clear strategy on both ends in terms of what both sides wanted to do. Gordon did, they actually stood for a little while, but then Gordon was standing with Buchecha for a while. Good exchanges, but he clearly wanted to get to guard and he sat in guard. I really hope we get to pick Gord's brain about this match, because I'm not sure what I could tell that he wanted a very specific thing, and Buchecha was not giving that to him.
Honestly, I was really surprised a lot of this match. Gordon Ryan had almost like an arm drag position. He had Buchecha's arm all the way across his body, and so there's actually a potential for arm dragging all the way to Buchecha's back here.
It seemed like he just didn't. He knew
he didn't want to pull the trigger on it, because Buchecha was letting him kind of get the grip there, and then
Buchecha was about to re-drag him.
And that's what I thought. I talked to Cade Rotolo back about this, because we were both watching the match, like Matt's side, and I was like, he's like, man, he's letting me get deep on that. And I had a funny dialogue with Cade about this match of exactly what the gamesmanship and the meta behind it, like where the positioning was. It was fun to talk to him about this match.
They didn't really engage. The ref ends up giving Buchecha a penalty. Time expires, and
penalty was a little controversial.
Yeah, well,
but again, you're giving a penalty, like you said. The penalty to the passer for engagement. He gets it done, and Gordon Ryan is your absolute champion after 30 minutes due to the penalty, and he is potentially going to go on now to face Andre Galvao, and if ADCC lets him, he's going to defend he's going to try to fight for the Superfight title, he's going to fight for the Absolute title, and he's going to fight for the weight division title at the ADCC 2021.
Yeah, so just an incredible event.
First place, Gordon Ryan. Second place, Marcos Almeida Buchecha. Third place, Lachlan Giles. And fourth place, Muhammad Ali. An amazing event. Can't get flow for this event.
So many great
So many great
moments on the mat, off the mat. Us being able to sit down with Josh Palmer, just having great conversations with Bernardo Faria, picking his brain about what he wanted to see.
Talked to John Evans, talked to so many people. Again, if you've spoken to us this weekend, it was...
Shout out to Cameron, who we just had dinner with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for reaching out. It was good to hang out. That was really great.
Dude, it was an awesome weekend. I had such a great time. I can't say enough great things. We've espoused about this. There's no other event that we've done multiple shows for. I flew across the country to California for the first time to cover this event live. We did interviews. We went all out for this. That should tell you, in 100 shows, we do 99 of these shows plus a couple bonus episodes. It should tell you how great this event is, because we put this much resources and time into covering it.
And it was incredible. Yeah. Definitely, if Seth and Team No Sleep end up doing another ADCC, you got to go to it. It's just incredible.
Wherever it is next time, we're flying out to. U.S., cool. Not U.S., I'm going as well.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the preview section.
Let's do it.
All right, so on to our preview section. Previewing Fight to Win 127 taking place on October 4th in Dallas, Texas. This event is main evented by 155-pound black belt no-gi title Mateus Gabriel versus Augusto Tanquinho Mendez.
Hey, we saw that match already.
Hey, we saw that guy.
We get to see ADCC all over again in Dallas.
I'm ready for it. Dude, the title for no-gi for Fight to Win. Like, now Tanquinho is the gold medalist for ADCC. Like, dude, this is going to be this is going to be a really, really good matchup. Co-main event is a 155-pound black belt gi match. Richard Nogueira versus Alex Sodi. We have a welterweight Masters gi title. Vitor Oliveira versus Rafael Formiga Barbosa. I think Formiga has the welterweight title currently. I think we've seen him defend that at Philly. I'm not sure when the last time he defended it is. Probably the last Dallas card as well. We have a 205-pound black belt no-gi match. Buddy Roberts versus Rocky Birdie. We have a 200-pound black belt no-gi match.
Tony Trammell versus Dave Matthews.
195-pound black belt no-gi match.
Andre Gomez versus Tony Tipton.
185-pound black belt gi match.
Rafael Lang versus Marcus Antelante.
We have a 180-pound black belt gi match.
Igor Paiva versus Jonathan Hunter.
We have a 175-pound black belt gi match.
Jody Jones versus Michael Foster.
We have a 165-pound black belt no-gi bout.
Diego Santana de Espiritu Santo
versus Levi Peterson. You kind of stop there.
So many names. I figured I'd gotten both of them.
We have a 150-pound black belt no-gi match.
Chelsea Lyons versus Luana Alzugir.
That's a really good matchup. That's probably going to end up higher on the card. I would not be surprised if that's Coco main event. 140-pound black belt no-gi bout.
Jordan Burton versus Alex Guerrero.
We have a 140-pound black belt gi bout.
Davin Ordenado versus Hermilio Locas Lima.
We have a 145-pound black belt judo title. I think this is the first judo title that Fight to Win is handing out.
It's true. Taylor Weber versus Nathan Kearney. I am super pumped.
Dude, this is going to be a great... I'm saying it now. Like, this is going to be a great match. Next match, we have a 270-pound black belt judo match.
Big boys.
Yeah.
Hector Negron versus Chad Stevenson.
We have a 195-pound black belt judo match.
Garrett Andrews versus Gyula Kalman.
155-pound black belt judo match.
Matthew Kearney versus Suan Burns.
150-pound black belt judo match.
Matt Jackson versus David Yoshida.
Also on this card, we have a Masters brown belt gi title.
Bobby Alexander versus Flaco Flores.
We have a brown belt no-gi middleweight title.
Hunter Colvin versus Cody Steele.
This is a match to watch. Like, both these dudes are great. We've seen Hunter Colvin and Brothers Invitational. We've seen him on Combat Jiu-Jitsu. Cody Steele, we've seen on the Brown Belt Invitational. We've seen on Fight to Win. We've seen on BJJ Fanatics. Like, this is low-key a really, really... not low-key. Like, this is a really, really good match. Both these guys are super action fighters, super submission hungry. Definitely one to match. We have a 155-pound brown belt gi title bout.
Benjamin Annunziato versus Dan Dykeman. Oh, hey, Dan Dykeman.
What's up, Emil? I saw that before you did.
Yeah.
I talked to Dan about this match this weekend at Fight to Win. He's fighting for the title. Again, this should be a really fun match. We love covering Dan because the dude embodies the Fight to Win spirit.
Absolutely.
That dude comes in, like, everything he throws at the beginning is either like a flying sub or like a flying takedown or like something. He's put on some really great performances at Fight to Win. He's like popped in on like a day notice for a judo match. He goes a judo black belt and looked good there. Like, Dan Dykeman's an action fighter and I'm excited for it. We have a brown belt super heavyweight gi title. Gi match.
David Spindle versus Noel Morgan.
There's also a ton of other matches on this card. This is a really great card. We also have William Tacken on this card, and let's see who else on this card. Yeah, a bunch of other purple belt matches, brown belt matches, a couple blue belt and teens, and yellow belt matches. Should be a really, really great card happening on October 4th in Dallas, Texas. So moving into another preview, we have... what do you want to start? Battle Grapple or do you want to do World Jiu-Jitsu Festival first?
Let's do World Jiu-Jitsu Festival.
So World Jiu-Jitsu Festival is having an event on October 5th, and it has some really, really fun super fights on it. The biggest super fight is going to be Gordon Ryan, your absolute and under 99 kilogram champion for ADCC versus Husamar Palhares.
That is going to be great. Awesome leg locks. We've seen Husamar.
This is a tough one for Husamar, man.
Yeah,
Gordon Ryan's coming off of being Gordon
100%.
Ryan.
But we've seen Husamar against both Gary Tonin and Craig Jones. So he's just kind of getting passed around the DDS squad. So
getting passed around the DDS squad. Also on this card, we have Rafael Lovato Jr. versus Boogeyman Gio Martinez. This card also honestly has a ton of other matchups that are like less promoted that are super great as well.
Yeah, Mike Musumeci's on this card, which is crazy. We don't generally see him compete outside of really Worlds.
We've seen him on we've seen him on ACBJJ. We've seen him on some other stuff, but it's super inconsistent to see him on super fights and events. So it's only a couple times a year, so it's cool to see him on this one. We also have Diego Ramala versus Bill Cooper. We have Cashinho versus Jonathan Alves. I know you're a big Jonathan Alves fan. Huge. We have Rolando Jr. versus Nathan Mendelsohn on the card as well. Like, dude, it's got some really, really good matchups. We have Leon O'Gara versus Herbert Santos. That's a great matchup. Gio Martinez, again, on ADCC this weekend versus Gabriel Souza. Gabriel Souza's looked really, really good. Gio didn't have the best run at ADCC this week, but he's top performer. We have Lucas Late versus Clark Gracie as well.
Huge.
This is honestly a really, really low-key good card. I'm not sure where it's being streamed yet, but I have reached out to them, and they have told me it is being streamed. So hopefully they give some more information out later this week, and, you're able to watch it because it looks like a really, really great event.
Absolutely.
So let's move on to the preview of Battle Grapple. Was it
6?
I had, for some reason, dyslexia kicked in my brain, and I had it as 5. There's a bunch of undercard matchups. Battle Grapple is a UK promotion. Usually it's a $10 pay-per-view usually.
I'm curious to see what this Team UK versus Team World is. I guess these are separate matches because they are listed as, some are listed as gi, some are listed as no gi.
Yep.
I was hoping for either subversive or
quintet style event.
But
so we have on this list we have Fionn Davies versus Maisa Bastos. I bet that match does not occur.
Or they have a replacement for Fionn.
I assume it's Maisa Bastos versus another top female grappler out of the UK. We have Samantha Cook, another top female grappler out of the UK, versus Kristen Mickelson. We have Yasmin Wilson versus Tyne
Sheldman.
Yeah, we have. Give me the names, Emil. I'm
Leonie Munslow versus Amanda Layak. We have Christine Martin versus Rose L. Sharuni. We have Laura Barker versus Venla Lukonen. Yeah, that's a really good matchup. Main card, we have Ed Engelmess versus Freddie Rosgrove. We've seen Freddie compete a bunch, always comes out in the red singlet and then immediately throws for the leg locks. We have Tom Breeze versus Ariana Esfameldez. There's a bunch of other really, really fun, good matchups on this card. Owen O'Flanagan's on this card versus Jan Stout. And there's a huge list of main card events as well as undercard and prelims matchups on this card as well. So tune into this. I wish Josh was here to read this list. There's a guy on here called Alex Fucks.
Is it really?
Dude, yeah. Look at number 4 on the main card.
Oh, look at that. Yep. That
awesome. One's for you, Josh.
So Battle Grapple 6 happening on October 5th in Surrey, UK. So I think that does it for events. There's also Sogi's happening. I think J.M. Holland is headlining that one as well. There's some other Superfight matchups for that. The stream is usually on Facebook as well.
Jiu-Jitsu's back on again.
Dude, we're back on to our regular schedule. We're going to fly out tomorrow morning and get back into Baltimore at some time. And I'm going to basically just the next 2 days edit, and try to get out all of these interviews that we took. Again, thank you for everyone that gave us an interview here at ADCC. Thank you for everyone who spoke to us, reached out to us.
Everyone
took
that we
a sticker
hung out
from
with.
me.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Every single person we met at ADCC was a pleasure to talk to and meet. There was not a single. I didn't have a single bad experience at ADCC 2019 aside from I am quite tired and I would like to sleep.
Yeah, and also shout out to the people that we know that we met there. Is great to see catch up with Troy.
Awesome, yeah. Troy was a pleasure. Great to talk to Troy, Dan, Missy. Talked to Seth very briefly. Spoke to Mo very briefly. And I didn't want to bother those guys too much. But it was it was all around an amazing experience. If you ever get a chance to go to a major event like this, go.
Yeah, and specifically in ADCC.
Yeah, it was the best jiu-jitsu event I've ever been to. Hands down.
Yeah.
And we are part of the best community, I think, in the world for martial arts. Go, be a part of it. Support events like this. Support your local events, Fight to Wins, wherever, you have an event in your area. Support those events because we are part of a really cool community.
Yep.
And we do a great sport.
Absolutely.
So as always on the show, I'm your host, Maine, I'm my co-host.
Emil.
And we got the Grappling Rewind. We see you on the mats. If you like the show, please consider sharing it on Facebook with the folks at your gym. It's the best way that we grow the show, and we really appreciate it. You can reach out to us on email.
We also have Instagram. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We have Google+.
Until that shuts down.
We have a website.
If you have an event you would like to have us cover, please let us know. If you have a name, like most people do, and you'd like to have us stop butchering it,
let us know.
Reach out to us. The show is also available on YouTube, Spotify, in addition to iTunes and every other podcast service. We very much appreciate your time, and thank you.